Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And in case you want to know what that tired look is in my eyes, it is the look of exhaustion. I am so tired. I just finished running, doing a training run. As you guys know, I'm training for a marathon, which I'm not gonna lie, it kind of makes me a little bit nervous. I have never run a marathon before, and it's 26 miles. And yeah, I'm nervous. So anyway, what I like to do is every now and then I like to do what I call Dr. Boyce Watkins Exposed. I like to expose myself, but not in a nasty way, not in a Me Too sort of way, but in a way where you can get to know me by asking me questions. And the commitment I make to you is that I will answer any question that you ask, and I will answer it honestly. But the questions have to be short. Make the questions like one sentence so that I can read it and answer it. Because if I can't see it, I can't. I can't. If it's super long, it's hard for me to answer it. Let me just say that. So shout out your city first of all. Shout out the city that that you're with. That the city that you live in. What happened to Brianda Notes? Brianda does not work with us anymore, but Brianda is my very good friend, and I love Brianda to death. And she's still on Instagram and everywhere else, and she's a bright young black woman, but she's moving on to bigger and better things. So God bless Brianda. Let's see. I see Atlanta, Brooklyn, Vegas. Am I coming to Michigan? No. Next city is Chicago. DrBoyceChicago.com. That's July 28th. DrBoyceChicago.com. After that, it's Los Angeles for Harvest Festival Day. I'll be doing an investment seminar out in LA. That's DrBoyceLosAngeles.com. Also, the All Black National Convention. Eddie's asking, does it start the 26th or the 27th? It is the weekend of September 27th. It starts the 27th. Friday night, we're going to do, if you go to allblacknationalconvention.com, you can see the whole schedule. But it starts with the first day I'm going to do a special training on how to invest. Attorney Nicole Compton is going to do a training on how to start your own business. The next day, we're going to have panels on love and relationships, black men, black women, black politics, things like that, black economics, of course. Our keynote speakers so far are Nicole Price, who's a leadership expert, Vicki Dillard from Fly New Being Queen TV, Dr. George Frazier from FrazierNet. Dr. Claude Anderson has not totally confirmed. I'm hoping he's going to join me in LA because he asked me to come out there. So I'm assuming he's going to be in LA. But as you know, Dr. Anderson comes on this channel every Thursday for Powernomics Thursday. So and also Dr. George Frazier will be coming on here on a regular basis. We're actually partnering pretty heavily with FrazierNet. And as a result of the partnership, which is really a global partnership between the Black Business School and FrazierNet and people all throughout the world, you're going to start seeing black experts from all over the planet coming through here. Some of the baddest black people you've ever seen running multi-million-dollar businesses. Mike Roberts, a billionaire, was at the FrazierNet event, but there were some other amazing people. Dr. Randall Pinkett, he actually became famous on The Apprentice, but he's a sharp brother. He has a PhD in computer science from MIT, I think, and I'm going to get him on here at some point. So I just want smart black people on here because this is a home for intelligent black people. You guys know that. All right, so let me dig in and answer some of the questions. Are you coming to Atlanta at some point? Yes. Don't have it on the schedule though. Sharif Abdul Malik hit me up about the We Buy Black convention. I don't know if he and my manager have made a deal yet, but when they make a deal, I'm going to definitely come out there because I love Sharif and I love what he does. All right, let me see here. What kind of ice cream do you prefer? I like strawberry ice cream. That's my favorite. And I've actually gained an affinity for Rocky Road. But really, my favorite ice cream needs to be no ice cream because I'm trying to run a damn marathon. And in case you don't know, like you can't run a fucking marathon eating ice cream all the goddamn time. And that's my problem. I won't stop eating ice cream. That's why I should be thinner. Like y'all saw me lose a lot of weight, but I could have lost a lot more if I could let go of like ice cream. And I love Twizzlers. I love those like red and yellow. Anybody eat those red and yellow, like real tangy Twizzlers? They are so good. So good. Anyway, would you rather see black people reign supreme in this country or both black and white folks share an even amount of wealth? I want to see black people win all the time, every day, around the clock. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Would you rather see black people on top? I think we need to be on top. You know, they got their time. They got their, 500 years of power. where's our five? We need our 500 years, but then again, we had a few thousand years, right? So everything runs in cycles. We're in a temporary slump. Half a millennium. That ain't nothing in the history of man. So black people will be back on top within the next 100 years or so. I believe that by the year 2070, if my plan actually manifests itself, which I believe that we can actually pull this off. I've done the math. If my plan manifests itself by the year 2070, black people will actually lead the nation and lead the world in financial intelligence. Because if we start doing little things like sending our children to business school at the age of 7, and we commit our children to economic training as much as we commit to sports, then it's game over. It's game. I mean, can you imagine if we had, if we had 1 million black children, not even all of them, just 1 million black children who spend as much time learning about economics as they spend learning how to play basketball, how to throw a football, or how to rap. Like, can you imagine what our community could do? Like, it would be off the chain. Let me see. Pop-up museums experiences are lucrative from ice cream. Okay, let me see. That's not a question. That's not a question. That's a statement. ASAP Rocky is not in jail. He's not? What is he? What is he detained, or did they let him out? Let me see here. Let me look up. Let me Google ASAP Rocky. State Department urges Sweden. And it looks like he's locked up in something. Maybe it ain't jail. Maybe they just got him detained, but he's locked up. And I'm gonna tell you, I did a survey. I'm a statistician. That was one of my master's degrees. So I like data. I like statistics. So I'll take polls and surveys of black people to see how they feel about certain things. And I'm gonna tell you, black people don't give a fuck about ASAP Rocky. Seriously, tell me what you guys think. I think it's not so much people want to see him locked up. I think it's more like people just don't give a fuck. Like, y'all tell me what you think. Tell me if you like. I think a lot of people are just like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Now, somebody says it's all fake. He's not locked up. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people are saying hell no, because the stuff that he said about, about black people and black activism and all this other stuff, like people are like, well, if you don't care about us, then we don't care about you. How about that? Good luck, with your whole, I'm not black, I'm OJ kind of comment. And so we hope those white people will take care of you, because we're not going to do that anymore. So what I found was that I think that when we asked people, we asked them, do you think it's an injustice? Do you think he's getting what he deserves, or do you just not care? And the majority of the people said they just don't care. There was like 7% who felt like he deserved it, and maybe a little over 20% who felt that it was an injustice. But like I said, the majority, more than 2/3 of you said, who cares? Whatever. Good luck. Have a nice life. Let me see here. All right. So, yep. I see Willie says, nope, he's a clown. Got other things to think about. Let me see. Somebody asked Cash. If you ask a question, I don't see it, feel free to ask it again. I'll answer as many questions as I can, but some things I can't. You still support Kaepernick? Are you boycotting the NFL? Nope. And Kaepernick, Kaepernick's cool, but Kaepernick's not really a leader to me. I mean, Kaepernick he's not really diving into the issues. He's not a Muhammad Ali. He's a guy that took a knee for a good reason, for a righteous reason, which I respect him using his voice in that way. He got punished for it, and then it became more of a battle between him and the NFL than it was about actually the whole police brutality issue. Like Black Dot, who's a guy that does stuff on YouTube. My girl loves to listen to Black Dot, and I have a lot of respect for him. He was actually saying, if you really wanted to solve the issue of police brutality, and instead of making it into a worker labor dispute with you in the NFL, if you really want to solve the issue of police brutality, then maybe every city you go to, you would organize some sort of event around, the police stations or around police brutality. Like, you didn't really do much except, become this iconic figure who got a multi-million-dollar deal with Nike. And now you've been quiet because you got the payoffs from the lawsuit and everything else. And so it's almost like Kaepernick kind of started the process, but didn't finish. He ran the ball down the field and then ran out of bounds at the 40-yard line instead of going all the way to the end zone with it. So you can't really criticize Kaepernick, but there's not much to be inspired by, I think, when you look at the way he conducted things. Now, where do you get the shirt? Somebody asked. If you go to blackwealthtees.com, that's blackwealthtees.com. I think there should be some t-shirts there. TES. Let me check here. Black Wealth TES. There's some black type t-shirts there. I don't know if this one's there or not. And then also you can go to if you go over to what is it? Blackfinancialintelligence.com. That's our other store, blackfinancialintelligence.com. So there's a lot of stuff over there too. Let me see here. Is it good to invest in historic black towns as tourist complexes? I don't know. I don't know if that's something that can be done. I don't know if that's something that is good or bad. I guess it depends on whether or not you can attract tourists. I mean, I think that people would support it to a point, but I don't know if you would generate enough revenue to make it a worthy investment, sort of thing. But I think just the investment in real estate and land and really working that land and building it into something that's productive can be beneficial. Let's see here. Do you know any millionaires looking to invest in apartment buildings and complexes? Well, Jay Morrison and the Tulsa Fund, I mean, they're investing millions of dollars. Jay sent me over, a spreadsheet of everything he's doing with the capital and the rate of return they expect and everything else. And he's sharing that with all the investors. And I thought that what I saw, it looked legitimate enough at this point. So I'm gonna give him time. I'm gonna give Jay, I'm gonna give Jay about 3 years before I really start expecting a good big return on my investment. I did invest in the Tulsa Fund. So whatever happened to Mekhi Brown, Mekhi Brown is, she's one of the many people that have worked for us, and she moved on. So a lot of people move on. So it's just, I don't know what they do. I can't really speak for them. They do what they do, and we do what we do. So I don't really know for sure. But she's a very nice lady. Let me see here. Passively versus actively managed funds. Have you heard of the FIRE movement? Yes. I forgot what it stands for. I think it's something like retire early. It's like basically where you save your money a lot or something and retire early. And I think that there was a guy who started a movement like that. And he's a smart guy. But in a way, I wasn't super impressed with the whole premise of the model. It wasn't complex at all. It was kind of like telling you that water is wet. And basically, he just says, in so many words, it seems, I'm not going to say it's right or wrong, but it seems that what he did was he saved the shit out of his money, invested the bulk of it into the stock market, and his wealth grew and his spending was low. So he was able to retire early, which, I think that's fine. But really, I think for Black folks, I think another way you can look at it too is retiring early can take a lot of forms. Sometimes semi-retirement, is what you want. You may not want to sit around and just watch old episodes of the Golden Girls all day long or whatever it is, or play video games all day or sit around and do nothing. You may want to work. You just may want to work on things that you love. So as far as I'm concerned, I retired 20 years ago. I worked my butt. I worked 8, 9, 10 hours a day, but I love what I do. So I don't say work. I'm talking to my people. Like, I'm changing the world. I get to get on YouTube anytime I want, 24 hours a day, and talk to tens of thousands of Black people about things that I know are going to change your life and change your family for the next 5 generations. I'll do that all day. Like, that's like a preacher getting up on the pulpit, man. Like, this is life, So, I don't think you necessarily need to retire. What are you gonna do? Like, go on cruises and bore yourself to death? Like, no, people that do nothing in retirement, they die. Like, don't die. Just free yourself so you can really live. You understand? Your goal in retirement is not to get old and die, it's to live. Now, Fred W. made a donation. So in his comment, that lights up his comment. That's what they call super chat. So if you guys ever really have something you really want me to see, I will read your comment if you put it in the super chat. So thank you, Fred, for your support. Your money will be put to good use, brother. Fred says, how do you deal with family and friends who are jealous of your success and stop asking for money? How do you get them to stop asking for money? Okay, I'm independently wealthy through real estate investing income. Well, first of all, congratulations. That's really good for you. I'm very happy for you. 2, jealousy is a hard thing to manage because jealousy is internal. That's an emotion that's coming from them. You might make somebody jealous just because you shining like that. Like a beautiful woman that walks in a room may be the nicest sweetheart you could ever imagine and as friendly as you could be. But other women may become jealous of her just because she's cute, just because they know that their husbands are going to notice her. And has anybody ever seen that? Like really, where a bunch of the women hate a woman just because she's pretty and just because the men notice her. Now, there are things you can do if you want to, if you choose to accommodate things. I think being gaudy with what you have is a bad strategy. Like, if you have money, I think bragging about it is tacky. I think that flossing, trying to stunt and floss and show off and shine, like, wearing gaudy jewelry and driving the fanciest car you can drive and all that. I think that's a problem. And that's going to draw you a lot of unwanted attention. It's just like a woman coming in with her titties out. Like, you could be fine as hell, but that don't mean you got to always wear an outfit that shows every curve that you got on your body. I'm not saying that it's not your right to do that, but just know that everything you do is going to create a reaction, right? And you got to decide if that's the reaction you want. So, I personally don't mention anything about the money I make unless it's necessary. Like, if I'm trying to, like sometimes, for example, some people want to believe that, they want to know if I'm actually, like, if I've actually made any money to show that I'm actually know what I'm talking about when it comes to investing. So sometimes I might say, yeah, actually I invested this year and this is, I made a lot of money doing this and this, but I don't really like to talk about it, because when you draw that attention to yourself, you are going to have people that naturally, instinctually are going to see you as a resource. They're going to see you as, the way an animal sees food. Like there was what was it, Madagascar, the cartoon or whatever it was, and they had the lion and the zebra were best buddies, but then the lion got real hungry. And he couldn't help but he looked at his friend the zebra and he wanted to bite him in the ass. Like, he couldn't help it because he was hungry. And when he was hungry, he sees food, right? So when people are struggling financially, which there's a lot of financially struggling people, like in our communities and in our families, if they know that you've got so much money that you're just throwing it around and you're super generous and you're supposed to, and you tell them things like, oh, anything you need, let me know. Well, they gonna need stuff, so they're gonna let you know, right? So I believe just downplaying what you have is important. I think also being able to just say no. I mean, I had to learn how to just be okay with being an asshole. Like, what I do is, for example, what I might do with somebody is they might ask, when people want to borrow money from you, they will agree to anything. Usually if they're desperate, like, they'll agree to anything, right? So a lot of times I'll try to see, like, okay, what can I get you to do? I know what you want me to invest in you, but I want to see how much you're willing to invest in you. So let's say, for example, you have a skill and I need some help with something. I'll be like, okay, I'll pay you money to do this job over here. And you better do the job or you're not going to get my money. Or and if that doesn't work, then I might say, okay, well, I'm gonna give you this $400. Do not ask me for money anymore until next year. You got 1 year where you cannot ask me for anything. And now this is something I might do for kids or a nephew or cousin or something like that. I don't do this for everybody. And then that way I'll go ahead and help out and let you know I'm still a nice guy. But then you come back 3, 4 months later, 6 months later, asking for money. I'll be like, what did I say last time? What did I tell you when we talked? Right. So I think sharing what you have, Fred, is that's my bottom line, is that I think it's good to be generous, but I think you just got to put a cap on it, right? Just know how to put a cap on it. And I think if you do that, you will be okay. The jealousy, you can't change that. You can minimize it to a certain extent, but people's jealousy a lot of times is more of a reflection of their own insecurities, and you can't really control it. Sometimes just by being great, you strike up reactions in other people that you have no knowledge of. All right, so let me see here. Dr. Watkins, I bought 2 of the wrong kids bundles tonight. Can I trade out and pay the difference of the cost? Plus I bought the 3rd and 5th grade, but should have gotten the middle school. That's okay. That's all right, Lisa. What she's referring to is our financial workbook bundles, which are at financialworkbooks.com. In case you guys, I assume you guys know, but we actually have these financial workbooks for children that are really, really good. They were created by Black experts that helped us put together curriculum for children. That's one of the secret weapons we have in the Black Business School, where we're going to put the Black community ahead, is we're promoting the idea in the Black community of Black children going to business school at the age of 7 or 8, instead of waiting to 18 or 19 like everybody else's kids are waiting. Send your kids to business school while they're young, and you can build a business school right in your house. We have all the tools, low cost tools that can help you get that done. And what happens is, your child is making money at the age of 12 or 13. They understand economics at a very early age. So by the time they get to college, they have the advantage that Sharif Abdul Malik had, who created We Buy Black. Sharif Abdul Malik is a millionaire. He's 27 years old now. He's a millionaire, but he's a Black millionaire, meaning that he's a millionaire because he built something powerful and amazing in the Black community. He's like a Black Jeff Bezos in a way. And one day he might be a billionaire. And what got Sharif going is his parents. His parents had him, doing entrepreneurial stuff at the age of 6. So by the time Sharif got to Howard, here's the deal. And Lisa, I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna tell you exactly how to solve that problem in 1 second. By the time Sharif got to Howard, he was a social work major, right? But he knew more about business than all the people in the business school. because he went to the business school thinking, well, y'all are business majors, so of course you know more about business than me. He was already making money now, and they weren't making any money. All they were being prepared to do was to go get a job. So he went over to the business school, and he's schooling them on how to make money because they didn't have a clue on how to make money. They only know how to fill out a job application half the damn time. So I think your children should be like Sharif, where he has an intense love for the community. He's a very good guy. His energy is extraordinary, and this man is making Black people rich. He's becoming a millionaire by creating millionaires. I love it. I endorse it wholeheartedly based on what I've seen so far. So look at that model. Imagine if we had 5 million young Black men and women who were just like him. Imagine, because the model's there. It can be replicated. We can put him in a photocopier and just replicate him. Why not do that? Right? So that's what I want to do. If we do that, then man, they can't beat us. The whole economic game, we win. We win because we're smarter. We know the rules better. We're gonna have the skill, right? That's all we gotta do. So Lisa, who is a great mother apparently, because she's doing this for her children. I respect you for this. Go email, switch out. You can switch out. Go email support@theblackbusinessschool.com, support@theblackbusinessschool.com, and they will take good care of you. Tell them I sent you, and to do whatever needs to be done to make it right for you. Also, any of you who are interested in going and checking out the workbooks and the flashcards and stuff for the kids, go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. We'll leave the card open for a few more hours. The sale actually ended at midnight, but we'll leave it open for a few more hours so you can still get the discount. So anyway, let me go in here and look at some of the questions. Let's see here. Do you have any more questions? Let me see. How do a person starting from ground zero, no support, suffering from depression, how do they get going? Okay, Shay, what I would say is think hard about who you get in your circle. Get people in your circle that are going to lift you up, that are going to keep you focused. And that's really important. You got to get help for depression, man. I'm telling you, we had somebody in the family yesterday that committed suicide, after suffering with bipolar disorder and depression and things like that. And a real talented brother. He had a problem that I think could have been solved pretty easily, but the problem was he walked away from his support system, and the depression got the best of him. And I just want to say to anybody out here that's struggling with depression, never get to the point where you feel like it can't get better. You can overcome anything. You just gotta believe that. You gotta accept your greatness and just understand that if you keep going and never give up, you can accomplish whatever you want. There's no such thing as anything that is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. You can overcome that, but I know sometimes we have chemical disorders that may cause us to feel a certain way. And if that's the case, get some help. They got articles online, they got videos online you can watch on how to deal with depression, how to get your spirit up. I struggled with depression in high school. I was very, very sad, very depressed. It mostly came from low self-esteem. I had low self-esteem. I did not feel loved. And as a high school kid, I was very, very sad. That's why I identify with underdogs. I do, because I know what it's like to be bullied. I know what it's like to be mistreated. I know what it's like to be neglected. I know what it's like to feel unloved. I did not have. I had a good father in the house. I mean, he's a good man, but he wasn't. It wasn't my real father. My real father was not there for me. And so I have a heart for children that don't have their father. So anyway, I remember what got me over the hump was when I was 19. I had one moment. Literally, I remember the very moment when it happened. And I remember realizing that I actually have some say in what my emotions are going to be that day. Like if I'm in a good mood or bad mood, I don't see that as a random thing. Like, oh, I just woke up, I was in a bad mood today. No, I choose to what mood I'm going to be in, right? Like every day when you guys hear me talk to you, I'm choosing to be whatever I'm going to be that day. You're not going to decide what my emotions are going to be. You're not going to decide who I am going to be. You're not going to label me and shape me or anything. Same thing with the white man. The white man ain't going to tell me what I am. You're not going to tell me if I'm smart or if I'm stupid. You're not going to tell me if I'm hardworking or if I'm not. You're not going to tell me if I'm a success or a failure. Fuck you. I'm going to tell you who the fuck I am and what I'm going to be. Right. And that comes from going through life as a kid and feeling bad because people were mislabeling me. I had teachers, white teachers, labeling me as stupid. I had, girls, stupid girls labeling me as ugly. I had, people around me who weren't labeling me in the right way and making me feel bad about myself. And I just learned that I control all of that shit. So seriously, so this helps. This helps. So you want to know the for real, since we're having real conversations right now. The reason that I don't know how y'all see me in terms of how I deal with haters and all that, but I'm gonna tell you how I deal with haters. I give zero fucks what you think about me because I've already decided who I am before I walk through that motherfucking door. Like you can call me all kinds of names. You can dog me out. You can talk about my mama. You can tell me I'm fat. You can tell me I'm ugly. You can tell me I'm stupid. You can say whatever you want to say. But guess what? My spirit is 1,000 times bigger than your petty ass shit. Like my spirit is a supernova up in this bitch, and you ain't nothing but a little rock floating through space trying to find somebody to hate on. So you probably need to go hate on somebody else because it does not work here. You get no play in this house because we've got a mission. We've got a goal to accomplish, and we're going to accomplish that. And so when I come, so that energy, that response I have to life, to everything I do, comes from the fact that I grew up, I dealt with that depression as a kid, and I dealt with letting the world tell me what my emotions were going to be, and I just don't do that anymore. In this world, you have a choice. You have a choice. It's like space. In space, there are small objects, bigger objects, and the biggest objects. And what happens with gravity is energy. And the small objects rotate, they gravitate around the bigger objects, right? Like the planets all revolve around the sun. Why? Well, because the sun is a giant object with a massive gravitational field and an enormous amount of density and power. And all these objects revolve around the sun. The sun revolves around none of the planets. Right? It revolves around a big black hole in the middle of the Milky Way, but it does not revolve around the planets. So in your life, you kind of have a choice. Are you going to be a planet or are you going to be the sun? If you're a planet, then you're sitting around chit-chatting, chatty-patty, gossiping about people. You're getting jealous of people. You're sitting around hating on people. You're sitting around responding to what somebody said about you. Some white man called you a nigga and it hurt your feelings or whatever, and you mad about it and whatever. But if you're the sun, then all the sun has to do is just sit there and shine. All the sun has to do is just be there. The sun's presence is so awesome and so magnificent and so overwhelming that he doesn't have to do shit except exist. So all I got to do is be black and die and just be me. And guess what? Anybody that wants to revolve around that, anybody who wants to sit back and be mad about it or talk about it or chit chat about it, fine, keep revolving around it, but I'm going to keep on shining, period. So what I say to everybody in here is, whatever it is you're doing, keep shining, just keep doing your best. Give 100% to everything you do, no matter what it is. I don't care if you're playing tiddlywinks. I don't care if you're bowling. I don't care if you're reading a book. Give 100% to everything that's important to you, raising your kids. Give 100% to that and believe in your heart that you have the ability to be the greatest mother on earth. You have the ability to be the greatest father on earth. You have the ability to be the greatest businessman on earth, whatever it is you're trying to do. Believe in that no matter what, because really at the end of the day, all you really got is you. So that's my 2 cents on that. I hope that was helpful. I didn't mean to talk so long about it, but I'm passionate about that. I believe spiritual energy is everything. It's everything. So let's see here. Let's see. Do you think most blacks, Big Worm says, do you think most blacks are waking up with us always being excluded from everything? Do I think most blacks are waking up with us being excluded? I mean, I think most black people are waking up. I don't know what you mean by us being excluded from everything. I think that we're excluded from things that don't belong to us. And I think that that's just life, like people, like if I have a party at my house, I'm excluding my neighbors because it's not their party. So if you want to get into the party in my house and I don't let you, then you could sit outside and complain about it, or you can go start a party at your house. So for black people, we feel excluded because we revolve our lives around white people, and we spend far more time responding to them than we spend actually building. Like we need to be like the sun, but instead we act like planets. We revolve and we respond to everything white people do because they're the center of our universe. They are our guides. You know, we go to church, you know, we pray to the white Jesus and everything else, and we pray to the white economic Jesus because we won't give ourselves any plan Bs. So when white folks, you know, don't give us what we want, you know, from their stash, then we kind of feel abandoned. We feel left out. Our feelings are hurt. And what I'm trying to say is we got to change that paradigm. Corey Marsh, thank you for your donation. Corey says, how do you feel about investing in 5G startup companies? Sure. Why not add them to your portfolio? I mean, we know 5G is the wave of the future, you know, and that, yeah. I'm a big believer in diversification when it comes to investing. So if that's something that interests you, and you're happy with that market, then I say, yeah, add it to your portfolio. Just make sure you diversify. Very important. Let's see here. That's such a funny name. I saw Big Worm. That makes me think about the movie Friday. The Business Artist Group says 5G causes cancer. It could probably does. Who knows? 40 years from now, we'll find out all that shit's been killing us. Anthony Smith, thoughts on Dr. Baby Steps? On Doctor's Baby Steps, specifically halting investments to save for a house. DR's Baby Steps. Okay, I don't know what DR is. Thank you for your donation, Anthony Smith, by the way. I appreciate that. DR's Baby Steps. Okay. I don't know what DR means, Dominican Republic, or a doctor, a medical doctor. But if you're talking about, you know, halting investments to save for a house, I wouldn't halt investments to save for a house. Oh, Dave Ramsey. Oh, okay, got it. He's saying, what, stop investing so you can save for a house? Why not just keep investing and then sell your stock when it's time for you to invest in a house? Like, I don't see why you have to stop investing. Like, I think your capital, most of your capital should be deployed and put to work, meaning that it should be put in a place where it's going to grow. I'm not a big believer in letting money just sit there, you know, but Dave Ramsey's smart, so he may have a different perspective. So do you know Marcus Garvey's UNIA organization? No, I do not. I know Marcus Garvey. I think every black child in this country should know more about Marcus Garvey than they know about George Washington. John Sanders, in college, how many blacks were in your finance class? In Syracuse, let's say I had 100 students, 4 of them might be black, and I didn't like that very much. Let's see here. Styles says, do you think you are sharper now that you are more physical? Yeah, I do. I can tell the difference. Like when I exercise and the oxygen's going to the brain, I feel really good. And it's done wonders all the way around. What happened to Bitcoin? I don't know. I saw a drop in it recently, but remember, Bitcoin's gone up a lot this year. I think it's gone up about 40% or something in the last month. So remember, take the declines into context. You know, I mean, sure, if it drops 10% or 15% and it crashes, think about where it started though. And I think that in the last month, Bitcoin's been a hell of an investment. I'm sure I made a lot of money with the crypto stuff. How do you deal with racism like in the bus school? I don't know. Sorry, Odeon, I don't understand that question. You got to ask it again. My apologies. Let's see. Debbie says, everyone who has a working rational brain should support ADOS. I support the ADOS concept. The leadership concerns me. I think Yvette Carnell needs to kind of mature a little bit. I think she's a little bit too hostile, and she spent so much time attacking people that I think she alienated a lot of potential allies, a lot of people that would have supported her cause. There were people calling me and they were saying, yeah, we wanted you on our reparations committee, but we didn't know if you were still friends with Yvette Carnell, and so we weren't going to invite you if you were still working with her because she's being a little bit irresponsible with her words. So I support ADOS, but I don't think the leadership is what it needs to be. I think that we need leaders that spend more time building and not so much time destroying. Where do you get those shirts? The Scrapline. Try Black Wealth Tees, TES, blackwealthtees.com. You can check out all our shirts there. Let's see here. D Hug says you're the best. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. John Sanders, what's your view on the minimum wage increase? It's absolutely necessary. In America, we are an example in America of capitalism gone wild. We've let corporations control our country and our politics to the point where we're just not a democracy anymore. We are an aristocracy. And I don't know how to change that. I don't trust the system because I believe that our politicians can't get anything done. You know, there will be no Democrat and no Republican who saves the black community. Let me just say that right there. There will be no Democrat and no Republican who will save the black community. Nor will, I'm sure no independent candidate will do it. You got to save yourself. So, but do I believe the minimum wage should be increased? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Conversation with Monty. I invested in stock because of you. Good for you. Good for you. And I bet you made money. The stock market's done really, really well. We've been on an historic run over the last decade. And I just implore you to look into investing, dig in. If you want to get started, I actually have a free training you can get. Just go sign up at blackmoney100.com. That's blackmoney100.com. You can sign up for free and you can watch the training and you'll be invested in no time. So that's one thing I can do to help you get started. Let's see here. Court Jeff says, would you set up an online enterprise like Etsy? Sure, online business is great. Just make sure you study. Make sure you study what you need to do in order to make that work. Cleve says, Yvette is cool, but she is bitter. She's my friend. We used to be buddies, but she's really got some negative energy there. She's really angry about a lot of things. I don't know what it is, but I can't disagree with you. Do we need our own political party? Says Big Worm from the movie Friday. Yes, we do. Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that a lot on Powernomics Thursdays. I would encourage you to check out some of what he says. The videos are right there on the channel at drboycetv.com. Nick Tastic, a Louisvillian here. All right. What will it take to get Mitch McConnell out of Congress? I don't know. I mean, I guess people in our state are just so racist that they keep supporting this guy. But he's not only stupid and annoying, but and a bigot, but God, he's such a funny looking man. Like he really looks like a farm animal, like that. The word. Now, what was funny was McConnell, the guy with the big triple chin, he actually said something that I found to be alarming. That was very simple, but I think it's alarming in the sense that they asked him. They said, so now that you found out that your ancestors were owned slaves, does that change your position on reparations? And he says, well, I find myself in the same position as President Barack Obama. We both oppose reparations, and we both have ancestors who owned slaves. And that was all he said. And I thought that was fascinating that this man could accurately say that his position on reparations is the exact same as Obama. So when a guy like Mitch McConnell can say that me and Barack Obama are the same on this issue, we are in the same position on this issue, then what good is Barack Obama? What did Barack Obama really do that separated himself from the Republicans if he's saying the same thing that Mitch McConnell's saying? You got to think about that a little bit. So anyway, let's see here. Trump went on full racist today. Oh, Lord, I got to check it out. Miss Living, what do you think of the Justice Democrats shaking up the incumbent CBC members? I don't know anything about that, but I'd like to take a look at that. I think the CBC, oh man, the CBC, I don't know what's going on with them. They're just not effective. I'm just not impressed. Kenneth says, I have over $1 million in real estate investments here in Atlanta and Brooklyn. Should I liquidate and roll into stock? I don't think so. I think you should diversify. If you're happy with your properties and the income they're earning, I would stay with that and then maybe just spread your money out. Like I wouldn't have it all in one sector. That's one thing I don't do. I would not do. But I don't think it's a matter of just dumping everything and going to stocks. I know Vlad TV says that stuff. And basically the reason he says that stuff is because he doesn't know the data. Like he hasn't seen the entirety of the history of the stock market. It's no different from somebody who used to think it was okay to go and borrow money off your credit card to go buy Bitcoin because they'd only seen increases in the price. So what that creates is what is called investor overconfidence. You think that you know how to pick, you think that you're a genius and you're an expert. Why? Well, because you got these systematic factors that are elevating the market for everybody. And then what happens is one day you see a real crash, you see some real shit, and you don't know what to do with that. Well, the thing is, if you look over the 100-year history of the market has not behaved like this, over the entire 100 years. It's ebbed and flowed. It's had different eras in terms of how the market returns actually operated. There are decades you could go to where the market returns were nothing. They were flat. They were negative, right? So when somebody like Vlad says, "Oh no, real estate's terrible," I put all my money into stocks and I made a ton of money in stocks. It's not because he's an investment expert. Shit, man, everybody's made a ton of money in stocks because stocks have been, going up due to loose monetary policy from the Fed. That's why the stock market's been climbing, is because the Fed's embraced certain policies that have loosened up the cost of money, reduced the cost of money, and it's inflated the stock market. But the problem, and it's inflated real estate to a point too, but not as much. But there are a lot of people who believe that that's a bubble waiting to burst. There's a guy, I can't remember his name. He's a scholar, and Schiller, Shiller, Schiller, who was a guy who predicted the real estate bubble, the real estate crash back in 2007. And I like Schiller. He's smart. Schiller has been predicting like a major crash in the market for a really long time. He just doesn't know exactly when it's going to happen. So, yeah. So don't get. It's like big. I said this during the crypto craze. Nobody listened, but I'm saying it again now. Don't get carried away with the stock market. Just make sure you're there so you can take advantage of it. But don't think that this is an ATM machine. That's how you get screwed. Diversify, stick to the fundamentals, and you'll be good. ASAP Rocky, thoughts? We talked about ASAP a minute ago. I hope he does okay. I hope he gets out of jail. But we did a survey and we found that most Black people don't give a shit about ASAP, just truth be told. Let me see. Somebody says CT. Debbie Wish says CT is a troll. Okay, well, CT, if I see you trolling, I'm gonna have to bounce you up out of here. And Verdial Berry he has a wrench, so it looks like Verdial Berry can boot people out. Vlad be acting like the feds. Yeah, good old Vlad. Let me see. What do you think about as a good price for children to attend private Black-owned schools? It depends on what you're getting from the school. I say if you got the money, I don't mind overpaying or paying a lot of money to buy Black for certain things because I get the added benefit of knowing the money circulates in the community. But you don't pay ridiculous amounts of money. But the truth is, people will pay lots of money for like luxury items like Gucci. Like, how much do people overpay for Gucci? An insane amount. I'm sure, Gucci can sell you a belt that costs them $20 to make, and they'll sell it to you for $600 and people pay it. So to me, I think Blackness should be like Gucci. That should be like a premium brand. So to me, if I'm buying something that's Black, I will pay more because I'm excited to buy Black because I know that money is going to recycle and circulate in my community. Whereas if I buy white, there is no benefit to that for my community. Should I send my college to your school or back to San Diego State? Oh, your college student, like your child? It depends on what they want to do. I think that, first of all, I think every Black child should learn how to start a business. That's what I believe. I believe every Black child should know how to start a business because most Black people go to college because they want to make more money. Most Black people want to be free. Most Black people, when we do surveys and ask about racism on the job is very rampant. It's unaddressed. Nobody cares. Most people, if they could quit their job, they would. So to me, my decision to quit my job came down to this. I said, okay, I have two choices, a rock and a hard place. I can I either have to figure out how to kiss white people's asses well enough for me to get raises and promotions and to stay out of trouble and hope that they still don't fire me. Or I can go out here and hustle and learn and put all that time and energy into learning how to be the best entrepreneur I can possibly be. Like take new classes and study everything I can possibly study, listen to podcasts, whatever it takes to become an entrepreneur. I chose to go that route because in my mind, if I have success with the old route, the best I was going to get was to not get fired and to still have to work around people who I don't feel were treating me with respect. But if I succeed over here, I get a chance to really live a life of freedom and happiness, unlike anything I've ever seen, right? And so I think that having the ability to start businesses is exciting to me because it's like the way I felt when I played basketball. When I used to play basketball, I don't know if anybody else plays basketball, so maybe you won't get the analogy, maybe you will. But you play basketball, a lot of times you start off, you can only dribble with one hand. I used to dribble with my right hand. And the problem is if you dribble with your right hand, you're easy to stop. All they got to do is cut off. They'll just say, well, we'll stop him from going right. And then you have to pass the ball because you can't dribble with your left. You can't go left, right? So there are only certain number of moves you actually had, right, to score. And if somebody figured you out, then you weren't going to score at all. Whereas when I learned to dribble with my left hand, I felt like the whole game, the whole court opened up for me. I could go left, I could go right, I could spin, I could go do all kinds of creative things that I could not do when I can only dribble with my right hand. So to me, giving your child the ability to start a business and to invest and getting them into things like real estate, it's like teaching them to dribble with their left hand in the game of powernomics, in the game of global economic warfare. They suddenly have a whole range of moves that are available to them that weren't available before. And the thing is, what is freedom? Freedom is pretty much options. Having options is the same as having freedom, right? A lot of our people are depressed because they don't have options. There's studies that show that people who don't have options are much more depressed. Why? Well, because you want to do things you want. You're suffering. You want things to get better, but you don't have any choice. You have to get up and go do this job every day. You have to, kiss this person's butt. You have to go through this procedure, right? Why is it because there are no options out there? No, there are options out there. You just don't know what they are. Nobody ever trained you on how to seek out and identify those options so you can pursue those options. But really, if you understand all the possibilities that exist for you, then it's like the whole universe opening up for you. And that to me is the key to happiness. The best advice I could give you, I don't give you guys advice like that. I don't tell you what to think. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to just maybe be supportive, share some knowledge, share some perspectives that might help you think. The best thing I could ever do for you is to give you what I consider to be the keys to happiness. Right? If I make you happy, then I pretty much can guess that I probably have given you something of value, right? And I don't even know what's going to make you happy. But I will tell you that one of the main keys to happiness is freedom. Freedom is connected to options, and those options economically come down to what skill set you have. Our children just don't get the right skill set. They go to school 12 years. They learn a bunch of nonsense, and they graduate, and they are not ready to have all the moves that they need to be successful and happy in this economic system. So they end up feeling like slaves. There you go. That's my analysis. All right. I see you guys have more questions, but I got to go. My woman's waiting for me. She didn't even want me to even jump online, but I just kind of felt the need to talk to you guys. I saw some of you were asking about the stuff with the kids' workbooks. Feel free to check them out. They're really, really good. We have a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. So you can get your money back if you're not happy for any reason. You can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. We have every grade covered. They come with workbooks and flashcards. So it's like a bundle pack that you can get delivered to your house. For the high school kids, we add a little bit more. We add a couple of digital lectures in there to really tighten it up, so that, because they're ready to go to war. They're about to go out here in this world and deal with real stuff. So we give them a little bit more. And the goal is, what we really want you to do is we want you to consider utilizing some of the tools, utilizing the Black Business School, because that's your university, that's your HBCU that belongs to you, that's created for us, by us. And we would love for you to consider the idea of creating a Black Business School in your house. Like a Black Business School in your house. All you need, we got some workbooks, you got the flashcards. We have a digital program at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. You can add that in there, where your child can go through, take the self-study exams. Once they complete the exams, they can get a degree from the Black Business School that they can put on their wall, just like a degree from Harvard or Yale or Stanford, right? A certificate of accomplishment. And then on top of that, we've also got books in the store as well, like Powernomics. You got my books, of course, my Black American Money series. If you want to take a look at that, we just have basically this really cool arsenal of tools that won't cost you a lot of money, that will put your children so far ahead of everyone else. It'll be ridiculous, because your children can say something that I couldn't say. They'll be able to say, I had my first professor. I learned from my first professor when I was 8. Like, I didn't meet a Black professor until I was 19 years old. And to this day, I never had a Black teacher ever in any class I ever took. And I was in grad school till I was 31 years old, right? So to me, to be able to say that at the age of 8, if I could get, 1 million Black kids in that position, oh my God, it would be insane. I mean, I'm getting emails from parents that are telling me their kids are already making money. They're building businesses. They're excited about investing. They've made, one lady emailed, well, she put the comment in there. She said that her daughter went through the program. She gave her $500 to invest. Her daughter now has $4,340. I was like, holy shit. I knew she was going to make money, but I didn't know she was going to make that kind of money, right? So I actually want that mom to come on the channel. And if your child is doing these things and they're doing well, email us. My manager's email is manager@boycewatkins.com. That's manager@boycewatkins.com. Email her. Tell her you want to bring your child on the channel, and if they have a business, we can promote the business, stuff like that. But I would love for everyone to kind of see what other people are doing. Now, somebody's asking what it's called. What's it called again? It's financialworkbooks.com. If you go to financialworkbooks.com, you can look at the books. The digital program is at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So I hope that this is helpful for you guys. It was great talking to you, and thanks for hanging out with me. And of course, you guys know you'll see me again real soon. So take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace.